This is like fixing a Land Rover, okay? If you got a Land Rover, you learn all kinds of useful skills. If you drive a Toyota, well, you make better coffee, that's for sure. Now the Toyota driver tools, you know, is a hammer and a big crescent wrench. So how are you gonna fix an iPhone with that?
So, guess what just happened? All spatial systems are off. Limp mode, max speed 30 kilometers per hour. I just got back from a 1200 kilometer trip. What the?
Let's quickly look into the fault code what Vera got yesterday after she did her 1200 kilometer trip to Berlin and back without any faults. And let me show you what I found, what it is.
Oh my God.
Okay, the fault Vera got was a suspension fault triggering the red suspension light, a couple of bings and bongs, and the car going in limp mode. So everybody knows what that means. And it was a C1A07-62. Some diagnostic units call it a cross articulation fault. And what triggers this fault is if the ECU gets a unplausible signal between two height sensors. So, for example, left front to right front, unplausible, while the vehicle drives over 55 kilometers per hour for more than 35 seconds. So, basically, you could have a loose suspension component, a faulty sensor, a sensor wiring problem, a loose link in the sensor connection. So anything what would make that sensor value change in an unplausible way. I display the sensor values here on my gap tool. I got the supply voltage displayed from all four corners, and here I got the four sensors displayed. Don't worry that this one is a little lower. This is because this is an aftermarket suspension arm bracket and it's a little bit out of whack, but it's always been like this. Let's go outside and I show you what I found just on a quick check, what everybody could do.
God.
And when you look here inside, you come over here, you see the suspension arm back here, okay? Yeah. And you see the sensor link. Now I grab the sensor and I push it down, 2.35. Now I pull it up, 2.17. And you can also see this when you look here, how worn out this is, okay? And you gotta imagine this sensor bouncing around when we go along the road. This could trigger unplausible readings. Yeah. Now let's go over to the other sensor. Now this one is not as bad. I know it doesn't look pretty, but look at the phone.
So the 2.17?
To 2.22. So that one is not as bad. Now on the rear one here, I'm just gonna show you the phone. I don't want you to clamp down there here. And I'm gonna wiggle it the same way.
So it should be that number here, the 1.83.
And I can't feel any play.
Yeah.
Is it moving?
0.3.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's not moving.
What are we going to do to fix this?
Are you gonna order me new ones?
No. I found the solution. We're just gonna test if it fixes the problem. Here.
Oh my God.
Okay. So all we want is prevent this from wiggling. So all I gotta do now here is I put a tie wrap through here. I'm on the road now in the middle of the desert.
Oh, okay, that's
okay, in the Simpson Desert, and fixed. Look at this. It's no play. Now look at the phone. I wiggle it. Remember it was this one. So significantly better.
Yeah.
Okay? That's good enough to see if Vera has less of a problem. And we're going to put a tie wrap on the other side as well. So that's how you can potentially test out if the cross articulation fault is going to be cured or not before you buy new parts.
But you're not going to buy me new parts.
So I'm going to try to fumble a tie wrap through this one as well. There we go. I won't even cut off the tie wrap because who would waste a good tie wrap for his Land Rover? Drive. for a week or so and see if this fault is gone. And I'm pretty sure it is. And if it is gone, I order new connecting rods and I may order 2 new sensors. Less than 0.05 volts variation, and we had almost 0.2 volts of variation. So I think this fits the problem description in the Land Rover manual. And by the way, I looked it up in the workshop manual for the Discovery 4 because it includes a much better fault finding section than the workshop manual from the Discovery 3. Most of the time, it's a simple thing like that. And what would the workshop do if you take it to Land Rover?
Oh, they're going to replace everything.
They're going to replace all 4 height sensors for 125 euros each.
Yeah, but
Plus
only
labor.
after they replaced all the bushings and everything else that
They're
could
gonna
cause a
replace
suspension
all
fault.
kinds of stuff. If you got here weak suspension links, you don't even need to start with a fix like that, okay?
Yeah.
But we know all our suspension links are good. 100 kilometers.
Oh my God, what a nightmare that would have been.
So just so you guys know, this happens to everyone. Wonder what this is now. Had to get off the Autobahn. So after a restart, fault's gone. And the only fault I had was the mirror did not get detected for folded out.
We arrived in Berlin, Mellow Park. That's my camp spot. I'm gonna set up my rooftop tent now. Step 1 is done. I got the tent up. I did not forget to put it into excess height, so your car doesn't move on you all night and the tent will move. I did not use Christian's ladder. So that's Philip. It's first day, so he's still warming up to the park. I got neighbors, BMXers. Over there, they are also BMXers. The BMX racetrack over there, all the way you can see Philip riding, is a park section. That is, by the way, how I make coffee. I have been making it like that for 30 years. I parked a little bit cramped. You see my slide out drawer is all the way in the bushes, facing south, for my solar panel. But I have to say it's not enough, so maybe it's broken. We don't know yet. Right now it has full force and I only get 9 watts input. We had to rig up that one short term, basically Wednesday evening, because we had a little burnt cable which we found, which might have caused my one ECU fault, which caused the car to go into limp mode. So he's already trying to hide the evidence.
Some underqualified electrician wired something and it burned. I wonder who did this.
Yes, but you did that like 4 years ago.
Yeah, luckily the car didn't go on fire, but there is a fuse installed.
So it's 9:30 in the evening and they are still riding. So it's Saturday morning, day of the contest. Nobody is awake. There are more rooftop tents and a Defender and way more van lifers. Even here it filled up. First day and now my battery is completely empty. But that's okay, we are driving home today. So I'm all packed up. So that's how our Autobahn also looks like. The Autobahn is closed. Excellent. over there. Police and emergency vehicles are already there. Oh, and look, my battery is full again. One day of driving. So we came home yesterday evening, like 12:30 in the night. And guess what? I haven't taken a shower in 4 days and have been freezing my butt off. And our furnace is broken.
I wouldn't call it broken. It's lacking some maintenance, okay?
Oh my God.
Because,
too much YouTube.
yeah,
Not much.
not, you know, if you only work on your damn car for that damn YouTube. This thing is made in Austria. I mean, if people understand how to make heat, it's the people in Austria, right? You wouldn't want to buy a pellets oven from someone in Australia. That's the same as if you would buy a refrigerator from someone in Siberia. Nice and clean. This is the furnace cover.
Only 1%.
This stuff here
Yeah.
is, you know, burning slowly over time, and then it falls onto the roast, and then the roast can get jammed. So now we started.
Oh my God.
This is the security hatch, so the pellets can get cut off from supplying them into the combustion chamber.
I'm running.
Okay, so you want me to say something?
Christian explains here how our pellets furnace works. Oh,
So this is the daytime pellets container, which get filled through these two tubes over from the storage room, where we keep about 7 tons of pellets. And they get sucked into this container using this air blower here. The pellets then sink down over this ball screw, and this ball screw drives the pellets upwards, and there they roll down into the combustion chamber down here. This little motor runs the ball screw over this gearbox. And what's happening right now is that this heat gun back here is heating up the furnace. So there are already a few pellets inside the furnace sitting on a roast, and they get basically now ignited. And at the same time, the oven blows in oxygen, so air. The pellets inside the furnace now ignited from the heat gun. There's the ball screw now running. And it goes like this now as long as the furnace is running. The furnace puts in the right amount of oxygen. It basically develops smoke from the pellets, and that smoke is being burned extremely efficiently. And then we got 2 heat circles here. One is the floor heating and one is a radiator heating. We also got water storage here. This is 1,000 liters. And here we got usage water, which is 300 liters. So that's how the furnace works. We paid 356 euros per ton. The normal price before the war was 221 euros. A pellets burner is basically your Land Rover under all the furnace technologies. If you want a Toyota burner, then basically you're burning gas in your house, okay? You don't even know that it's there. It just works and produces heat. A pellets burner is equivalent to a Land Rover. This unit alone, first of all, costs a lot. Second of all, it has about 7 or 8 electric motors which it's running to make the whole system work, and it's broken about once a year. And this makes it really close to a Land Rover, you have to understand yourself how to fix it, because the people you're giving it to get it serviced and fixed are completely useless. They come here, they break more than they actually fix, and they replace components which are not broken, which you gotta pay for a lot of money. So everything like in a Land Rover shop. If you want to operate one of these furnaces, you have to get yourself dedicated to it, understand how it works, and fix it yourself. Everything is extremely simple to fix once you look into it in detail. And just like on a Land Rover, once it's running, it runs better than anything else. Okay, back here, you know what this is?
a sensor which can break.
This is a oxygen sensor, okay? And you know from what car it is? From a Mercedes-Benz C-Class.
Really?
Except at Mercedes, it's like 45 euros, and from Froling, it's 220.
Oh my God.
So you buy the one from Mercedes-Benz, which is a Bosch, and then you cut off the connector, and then you get away cheaper. And only Land Rover drivers know how to do that. They are used to getting ripped off on their spare parts, and they know how to get original spare parts from alternate sources, you know, versus Toyota drivers. They just go there and buy the original part, because it doesn't break in the first place.
He likes to clean stuff. And it doesn't have enough water pressure.
Yeah, we'll fix that in a moment here.
Oh my God.
I'm sure every viewer wants to know how our furnace works.
Oh my God, we're never gonna get done.
So you lectured about your walnut tree?
Yes, but I kind of use it as a fire starter. I take about a handful, put it in my oven, and then I light a fire starter piece, you know, one of those small little squares, and then I put 2-3 logs on top, and then the fire immediately starts and the logs are burning. I don't have to chop starter wood, you know.
That's where people cut off their fingers. Okay?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
You don't want to do that. You want to use walnuts like we do. It's
Yeah.
much easier, much more efficient.
And we have endless amounts of walnuts every single year. Oh, we would need something like that for our Land Rover. So you can put the screws where they belong.
Opening an iPhone is always risky.
Oh my God. So apparently I broke my cell phone and Christian has to fix it. He can fix anything.
You got it all full of water. Or is it sweat?
It's wet.
Luckily you are my wife. This first cable here in the front. Okay.
Yeah.
So there's this little cover on here. And that's the first thing what the cell phone repair shops do not put back on. Yeah, see, everything is full with water in here.
It was wet. I was running. It wasn't raining.
I gotta take 4 screws out.
Oh my God.
Look how tiny they are. See?
Oh my God.
Pry off the cables. See, there's the first cable. See how the water is underneath? This one is pried off, yeah.
How are we gonna get those back on again?
Yeah, now I can take the display off.
Oh my God. Christian is not amused.
No, I'm not amused. Because it's such a risky job, okay? It's like doing a fuel pump.
A high pressure fuel pump.
Okay, continue.
Yes. Oh, there's a how-to video.
So, super.
We have Land Rover tools and not Toyota tools and can get the job done.
If it goes up in flames, it's not gonna be funny, okay? So I got it out now.
So, not only was the battery broken, but most importantly, the display was broken on my phone. Christian used the display from his old iPhone and it's working. Now I gotta find a better spot to carry my iPhone around when I'm running.
Now the Toyota driver tools, you know, is a hammer and a big crescent wrench. So how are you gonna fix an iPhone with that? How often did we use a tweezer on the Land Rover? It happened all the time.
Yeah. So we use 2 phones to fix one.
Yeah, make basically like on a Land Rover. You have 2 cars.
Yeah.
And you make 1 functioning car out of it. If you got a Land Rover, you learn all kinds of useful skills. If you drive a Toyota, well, you make better coffee, that's for sure. Without a Toyota, we would think our Land Rovers are actually reliable. So Vera is loading up the vehicle with food.
Shit, something's wrong.
So the food she's got here is 170 euros, okay? These prices are really now impacted by the Ukrainian war, okay? Again, we're allowed to say war over here. We don't have to say special operation. That is a lot of money for a little bit of food. And this is about what we need in a week.